Hey there, Mitch Wilder here. Now, a few years ago, I started making these YouTube videos and they were getting some pretty good feedback and some pretty good traction. And then all of a sudden, I just stopped. And I have a few reasons that I'm going to tell you about here in just a minute. But first, let me tell you a little bit about some of the changes that I've made to my business and also what my plans are for this YouTube channel moving forward. I'm also going to share some things I've done personally and professionally over the past few years that I think will be interesting to some of my viewers. So, for starters, let me tell you a little bit about some of the personal changes, the big ones for me. So, for starters, like I said, I stopped making videos, and since I've stopped making videos, my focus has really been on my family. So, I got married to a wonderful woman. We've had two kids. I found that I love being a dad and a husband most. So, really, over the past few years, my focus has just been on being a dad and a husband first. It's taken priority over any business stuff, and I think that's how it should be. I also ended up having a pretty intense surgery for an old shoulder injury. It caused me to lose a lot of the mobility in my arm, which has ended up taking me years of physical therapy and exercise to get that back to normal. It wasn't the main reason that I stopped making videos, but it did contribute to it because I had hours of physical therapy each week, and it just hurt for a long time, even just to move it and gesture in a video. I discovered shoulder injuries. If you've ever had one, you know they're no joke. On the positive side, we ended up buying a house away from the city. It's been nice, quiet, especially during this pandemic. I even started raising some chickens, which has been a lot of fun. And we've taken some big trips each year to visit my parents who ended up moving out to Hawaii. And we're bringing the kids out there for a couple months every year to spend some time with their grandparents. And we found some really cool travel hacks to be able to take, what would normally be a very expensive trip and make it affordable and fun each year, which I'm all about saving some money. And so on our last trip, we got into snorkeling and free diving a lot. My wife and I bought a pizza. We brought it up to the top of Mount Haleakala to watch the sunset. This cool little bird joined us for some pizza. He was like eating out of my hand. We drove the road to Hana together, and we even found this cool Jackson chameleon, which was a lot of fun. And when it comes to life and business, my tendency is to be a little bit too routine. These trips kind of take me out of my comfort zone and balance me and help me to focus on, what's truly important. It helps me to take myself a little bit less seriously. So that's also why in my previous videos, I would usually wear like a button-up shirt or something a little bit nicer, but now I just wear this hat and a t-shirt because this is what I wear for work every day. So it just makes sense that I wear these in the videos because this is what I work in. So now let's talk a little bit about the business. It's been almost 15 years now that I've been running an ad agency. If you've seen any of my previous videos, you know that we had a lot of focus on Facebook ads because a few years ago, that's what was the most popular. It was what was getting the best results. We did a lot more than that, but we talked about Facebook a lot. Now, I really loved running an agency. I loved working with my clients and my partners, but about 4 years ago, I spoke to one of my partners and I let him know that I didn't want to run an agency anymore or be involved with agency work. So I was going to fulfill all of my contracts with my clients and then be transitioning out of the agency, which I've done. And that decision was due to both some of those personal and some professional reasons. The personal reasons were that at that time was when my wife and I were starting a family. Agency work is a lot of work. If you run an agency, I didn't want to work that much anymore. I wanted to focus on my kids. My son was just about to be born, and shortly after that, we decided to have another one. But I loved marketing. I love advertising. I still do love those things. I just realized that it was not the best way for me to help people by running an agency. Around that same time, I also discovered some things in business that really just changed my entire view about how a business should operate. Now, over my career, I've had a few opportunities to buy some companies, and I just used it as a strategy. But whenever I did this, it was always one of the more profitable moves that I made. So I did my first acquisition when I was 22. I sold that company a few years later. I merged with another agency when I was 27. That was a great move. I bought a company as an investment when I was 30. And I just found that I enjoyed the process. And when I did these things, it was very profitable. It always ended up being a good move. So when I decided to stop running my agency, I decided to full-time move into investing and mergers and acquisitions of private companies. And over a 2-year period, I ended up having the opportunity to invest money and resources in over 7 companies. One of these companies is a company that I've become very passionate about. It helps people to legally create a tax-free retirement income using a financial product called an IUL, or Index Universal Life. I've become a big proponent of these products over the years. And the reason is I got into using these products for myself to help me fund business deals when I moved into investing in business acquisition. And I just think that they're a fantastic tool for business owners and entrepreneurs to really build wealth. So in the future, I'm going to be sharing some videos of how we're strategically using these products in business. And my partner in that business, Kevin Spear, has just become a great and trusted friend and partner. And we've also decided to venture into some other businesses together as well. So you may see some things from Kevin here as well. And in addition to Kevin, I've made some other partnerships and joint ventures, like with this guy named Sean Shepard, who I had originally trained in some of my advertising methods, and now he's out on his own, and he's successfully running an agency, and he's even expanded on many of the things that I've taught him and made them a lot better. He's been able to get some amazing results for his clients. So he's going to be helping me with kind of this next stage of my journey when it comes to the marketing and advertising and how we work together in that. But as I mentioned before, over the past few years, I discovered some things that I had been searching for in business for a long time. They changed how I view money, how I felt a business should operate, how I feel like its products and services should be delivered, and so much more. And I've had a deep desire to share these things with other entrepreneurs. So when it comes to things like marketing and advertising, I'm still very passionate about it, and I will be sharing tactics and strategies here on this channel through an educational program. I'm going to be announcing and telling a little bit more about that over the next few weeks. But aside from marketing and advertising, there are a few other concepts that I've learned and worked on implementing over the past few years, and I feel like they're just incredibly powerful if you can understand how to implement them, and I know that you can. Some are related to selling and creating repeatable sales processes that could be delegated to a sales team. I'm going to be sharing some things I've learned here about that on this channel. But the things that have had the biggest impact, not only on my business, but also on my life, have to do with, finances, both personal and corporate. Things like tax planning, investing, managing money in your company, and how to give a business a absolutely massive competitive advantage. For years, I always wondered, what it was that companies like Amazon, Google, Tesla, Vanguard, other leaders in their market, what makes them tick? Why are they so far ahead of their competition? And after years of study, I found that all of these companies have something in common that Warren Buffett calls an economic moat. Now, lots of people have heard of moats. Many have not. That's okay. For those who have not, an economic moat is basically anything that gives a company a distinct and lasting competitive advantage. A good moat will put a company years ahead of its competition, and it will also allow them to earn outsized profits and become a market leader. Now, a lot of people are familiar about these concepts, but few people have actually found ways to help people implement them. And over the past few years of creating moats within my business, it's been an obsession. I've even named my primary company economicmoat.com. That's where we invest in companies and actually help them to build these moats. And themoat.com, where we'll be providing some education to companies and resources to help them create moats in their own business and stay way ahead of their competitors. So in addition to talking about some marketing and advertising, I'm going to be using this channel to talk about and share strategies related to competitive advantage and finance. And I've got a lot of great partners who are going to help me to do that. So I know this has been a lot of information. Thank you for hanging in here with me on this update. If you're seeing this video and you haven't subscribed yet, go ahead and do so. I think it's down there. I'd love for us to be able to stay in touch. And if you have specific questions on business that you'd like me to create videos on in the future, please like this video and share what you like in the comments below so that I can help you on your business journey. Thanks for watching, and I look forward to connecting with you soon.